Hey, what's going on, guys? I see Trades here, and today we're going to be doing a technical analysis breakdown on ticker symbol UNH, United Health Group. So in the last video, guys, we covered that we were in this type of formation after price gap down and had that sell-off. We got in this formation after tapping around that 250-ish, 247-ish level, getting this little pennant formation as we see here. We squeeze out of that, price moving in a tight fashion. We found support around that $295 level. And now the question is, are we going to see price make a jump up and reclaim this descending support and retest that 545 in the long term? Or are we going to see price fall below this pivotal point and see a continuation of this overall downtrend? Now, before we dive deep on the daily, I'm going to take you guys to the weekly to get a broader perspective. All right, now on the weekly, shows a sell-off a little bit better. Also shows that we got in this consolidation range of 432 and 545 for quite some time. IPO, not too much going on, pretty stagnant stock. But we see price and energy starts building. Tap that 255 to 250 resistance level, bang off there, try to get above it, crash down, hit this ascending support, get above it, and then bounce off that, using that as now support. And then you see that stock really take off just like a mountain. Up to this consolidation range, consolidate, and we go to all-time highs around that 621 level. And then we see that drastic sell-off that occurred. Tries to make the correction, and then boom, big drastic sell-off. Now, why is the point that we bounced off important? Well, guys, this is where that stock really picked up that steam. There was a resistance point in the past, turned to support. You see that support, try to hold, crush below it, support holds, and then aids that big mountain type effect up to that consolidation range. And now on the weekly, guys, you can see that once we tap that point, right back up. So from a long-term look, guys, this is a very important level that we bounced off of. It's good to see that support is still intact and that thing's still holding up there. We are seeing promising signs that we found that bottom at that 255-ish level, and we are going to trend higher. All right, guys, we're on the daily here, and we can see where it hit that support level that we were talking about, and it really just hit it for one day. You see that one candle tap that level and move up. So we see that sell-off, that gap down, that sell-off, that gap down, sell-off, hits that important support level, and we bounce off right away. Not two candles testing it, one candle testing it, and we get that bounce off. And then we see price get pretty tight in this range. Very, very volatile price action all the way down. And then we see once price hits that strong support level, we move up from there, and then we get very tight. We see some tight price action, and it kind of just creeps out of this range where this ascending support and this descending resistance meet. And that's where we break out of that range. Two nice green candles there. And a little bit of indecision, a little bit of back and forth. Sellers and buyers kind of fighting for that overall control. We see that fight where sellers push the price back down to around that $295 level. Get that bounce there. And our most recent daily candle, we see a nice green candle. So in the short term, as a bull, it's a pretty good sign. We've hit that support level. We've seen that it only took one candle to bounce off that. And from that movement, we've got very tight price action. We remain high, ran above that $295 support level. So what we could be seeing next is a movement above that range. So you can see the top of that range and the short-term aspect around that $317 level, where we get a little bit of a movement up and then ultimately over that top of this pennant range at 339 roughly. I mean, looking at such a drastic sell-off, this was a very short period of time. Given that, there's so much more room to the upside than there is to the downside. And we'll go on the monthly real quick to show you guys that perspective. And you see how quickly we sell off. So TA perspective, guys, this is an extremely fast movement down, which, yes, isn't a good sign, but look at our risk to reward standpoint, we have a lot more room to the upside now than we do the downside, especially considering that we tapped that very strong support level. And it seems like it held up very nicely with just one candle hitting it like we described. So now, say that bears did get into control. Watch that break of 295. And if sellers really gotten that control, watch that touch of that ascending support and that strong 250 to $255 level. I'd be very surprised to see price starts to plummet from here. I think we are 80% likely to move to the upside here, break through that 317. And reaching those all-time highs, we've kind of double topped there. And you see that pretty big sell-off. And then that creates this descending resistance, and then we try to get above that, get back in this range where we consolidated higher. Cannot do that, so we get back in that previous long-term consolidation range. All those retests of that $545 resistance level holds up really strongly. Then you see that gap down, tight price action, stair stepping up, and then we get over it once again. And then you just see how strong the sellers are within this range. So then we see that big gap down, get below the bottom of that consolidation range, and you see price continue to trend downwards, and that's where we are right now, guys. So definitely lots of potential to the upside. I think we're in a very good position as bulls here. We cannot deny that drastic sell-off. That was a very quick sell-off, very quick movement down, but from a risk to reward standpoint, can't help but be short-term bullish on this, given that the way that these buyers have reacted after hitting that support level and that nice break out of that pennant and nice tight price action seem like they're really holding their ground here. All right, guys, now on the hourly, getting a closer look here, we can see that we gapped down and got in that pennant range. Very volatile at the beginning of that. Another gap down, hit that level, and volatile price nature. We bounced right back up towards the top of that range, and we bounced lower. Not as volatile with that gap down. And then you see that price starts to really tighten up, stay in that range between 295 and 317. And we really tighten up, hit the top of that range, hit that $317 level, try to get over that. And you see a little bit of rejection. You see sellers start to push it to the bottom of the range. We do get to the bottom at that 295, and we bounce off of that. We're either going to see a lower high in this little formation going on here, creating kind of a descending pattern, possibly getting tight before trying to squeeze out or a move to the downside. But in the short term, guys, we're in descending price action. See, you kind of hit that point right there, get below it, boom, boom, a few times there, break below, hit that bottom, and you could see another rejection here, kind of getting tight, and then you could see a move up or move down where price has to make a decision. But I think that if we did break that $295 level, there wouldn't be too many data points to bounce off. We could bounce off the bottom of these candles, possibly. It's definitely a possibility on a short-term hourly perspective around that 286, 287 level. But I think if we did get below that 295 and held below that 295, wouldn't be the best thing for the buyers, especially if we got under that 286, meaning we get under this tighter type of range that we've gotten into. So I'll do it for the technical breakdown of UNH. I think we're in a pretty good spot here for the bulls. As long as we hold above that 295 and continue to make our moves up, reclaiming those levels of 317 onwards, we definitely lean neutral to slightly bullish on this. If you guys enjoyed and want to see more UNH videos, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll continue covering UNH as well as other major tickers on the channel. Trade smart, and I'll see you guys in the next one.